kind of settling in and getting a feel for things with the staff right now?
Yeah, it's been great. Like I said, excited to be here before. Tallahassee's been awesome so far. I've seen Doak, College Town, and the hotel I'm staying at right now. So there's a lot more to see, obviously, but excited to be a part of this.
Kind of hitting the ground running. You can't talk about big recruiting weekend, but just what are specific guys, but just what's the organization been like, and what have you seen from the people that you're working with to get this all together?
Yeah, staff's been awesome. There's so much to talk about here at Florida State. Excited to be a part of it. They're work with great people, which is important, the first step, and excited to showcase this beautiful place.
What's the process when you take a job like right before recruiting really kind of heats up, and then will you even worry about making the transition personally until much later, or how do you do that?
The process for that, like, just collect as much information as much as you can, constantly ongoing, and kind of observe and learn as you go, and really try to trust the people around you who've kind of been through it. But at the end of the day, make those slight tweaks to make it more, whatever, informational, and try to have everyone pull in that same direction.
What are your thoughts, having gone through tour of duty and seeing the guys up close and personal kind of work out of the team composition, the roster in general?
Yeah, excited about what we have on our roster. I think we can do some big things with it. Obviously, anytime as a personnel guy, you're like always looking at what's next. And so obviously looking at that and what else could be brought in, but excited what's on our team currently.
I had an interesting call from a friend today whose son plays college football and is interested in transferring. And he asked me, how do you go about doing that?
Yeah.
So some of our readers or listeners would probably like to know that. A kid that's in the portal right now, what is that process?
Yeah, so the NCAA, obviously, we can't talk to anyone who's not in that actual portal. To get in the portal, it's up to each institution, whatever that process may be. From those things, like to do that, once they're in the portal, then we may take them through and identify them the same way we approach high school recruiting, to where we're going to scout and go through those processes, and then if we like them, we'll reach out and have the same contact.
Who is the person at Florida State that would contact them? Would it be?
It could be from a whole bunch of different people. It's not just a one person, like, hey, this guy's an O-lineman, so he's going to get reached out to by the O-line coach. It could be many different people that reach out initially if we have interest, and it should be that way, to be honest.
So will the process, as players go into the portal that you see that you think there might be an interest in, do you have to go approach coach and say, hey, this is somebody that I think you might want to take a look at, or how does that process work?
It's ongoing. It's open-ended. It could happen from a bunch of different ways, but the main way is just to loop everyone in as possible and quickly as possible, because it happens so fast. Like, I used to call it the NFL waiver wire, because that's what it's turned into. Like, hey, I'm going to place a claim on this guy. Okay, we'll go from there. Because it does happen within 24 hours. In experiences I've had previously at other places, it happens very quick a lot of times.
A lot of the guys FSU has landed, that's one of the things they've said, is that FSU reached out first or was one of the few. So that's got to be really important.
Yes. So it truly is instantaneous. Like, oh, so-and-so's in the portal, and let's get the movement conversation going from there.
So in support of that question, when a person enters the portal, does the portal send out a message to everybody, or do you have to be constantly monitoring the portal?
Constantly monitoring. And there's different ways and processes we have built in to make sure that happens. But what is out there is there's not alerts, besides of maybe other secondary services that may be out there to put those in place. But from the actual standing portal by the NCAA, there's no alert process or function in that sense.
So is that like, you have to, when you get up in the morning, you have a cup of coffee, you sit down, that's one of the first things you probably look at is the portal to see kind of what's going on, or is that kind of ongoing all day long?
I would say that's ongoing all day long. And it's have it on my phone, have it on different computer tops, have any service out there that says so-and-so's in the portal as an alert set up, so constantly. And I've had done that since, whatever way I can feel like there's a useful piece of information that I can acquire, I want to take advantage of that.
So you're obviously talking with us, you're not monitoring the portal right now this second. Is there somebody at the office who's like hitting refresh on the computer?
Sure, and then I can, if my watch buzzes, I might get an alert that way through. So
Gotcha.
There's many different, that's what I'm saying. It's more than just working together as a team, right? That's important, because there's so many people that are involved, and that's why the communication has to be ongoing and constant.
And you guys have some new faces just coming into the department during this off season. What's the key to kind of getting everybody on the same page? It sounds like that's your job, is to kind of get everybody on the same page.
Yeah. Communication. I know I talked about that the first time about a week ago, but communication is everything. And I know so many people take that for granted. But it is it is the key to everything. And that starts with organization and over-communicating and everything in between, because if there's questions that go unanswered, that's when people make assumptions. That's where usually bad things happen. So the more and more we can talk and work together, pull in the same direction, communication.
You started in kind of this support staff role. Feels like it's blown up in college football. We're just like, I mean, Coach Norvell talked about kind of needing so many people to kind of keep up today. I guess what has it been like being a part of that, and I guess how much is it a necessity to have that huge staff to just be able to keep up on a daily basis?
I think because the game's changed so much. One, the amount of content that's going out and readily available, the amount of time where you have to reach out and talk to everyone, whether it be how everything is set up from a strategy standpoint, from a marketing, from content, from initial evaluation, from current evaluation, all those things in between. It's just blown up in that aspect. And at the same time, that's good for a person like me in the business of actual personnel and recruiting and evaluation. So, but part of that is this is a copycat, league in the sense of, when I say it like that, the NFL the same way. Everyone's going to look up at what models have been successful. Well, when certain schools in this area started establishing those, everyone is going to want to catch on to that. And I mean, you look no further than what happened in Tuscaloosa with establishing that personnel department 15 years ago, where there's 50 people. That's what started this.